Good morning, and glad to see you back. And if you're new, my name's Matt. I go by Mattman Solar on my other channel. I've been going over the tricks that I use for building that channel, and today I'm going to go in a little bit more detail about the idea of shorts to help promote your channel or as your channel. I've got a couple of techniques that I've used that are successful, and I'll tell you about those. And then I'm going to follow that up, unless I get sidetracked, which happens quite frequently, with a couple of items or ideas and ways that I've seen them used that are extremely unsuccessful and maybe even detrimental to your channel if they're not done, or if they're done in excess. So let's start off with a couple of the ideas of how I've seen shorts used that are really problematic, or at least they've been problematic for me. Now, I don't know about you. Most likely, if you're here and you're working and building a YouTube channel, you've probably watched a significant amount of YouTube videos. And like myself, you subscribe to different accounts, and when those videos come through, you take note of the techniques and how they're doing things and what they're doing to work that work and don't work. Quite oftenly, I see channels, which is one of the ideas I think that is a really bad idea. They'll take something like CapCut or one of the other softwares that you can use to throw a long form video in there, and it will cut out 700, 800,000, little exaggeration. It'll create you 7 or 8, 10, 12, 20 different shorts. And then they sling those shorts out there and just hope for something to hit. And what they're doing is they're really, in reality, you're spamming shorts and you're hoping for the magic bullet to hit. And I can tell you right now, if your entire life of shorts is going to be based, or shorts and YouTube is going to be based around how many different shortcuts can you find till you find something that works, you're going to have a very rough time with it. YouTube is, in my mind, and from my opinion, is something that every video needs to progress the story. Every video needs to progress the content for the user. And in one of the key things here that I think this is such a detriment to your channel for is that when you start spamming videos like this, people tune you out. And then when you have real content, they don't want to watch it anymore, because they don't know if it's just, one of those 500 cut up long form videos that they watched, spoon fed to them every day in spliced up just pieces and stuff. So that is one of the worst things that I have seen done with shorts, and I suggest you avoid it at all costs. I don't think it's a very good thing. Now, let's get into the two items that I have that truly talk about how you can use shorts that are very, very useful. When I started my YouTube channel, I spent a lot of time, throwing little shorts up there where I would just go and I record them. And I'd say, this was like a do-it-yourself help hint or something, tip. That's what I think I called it, was tip. And I would throw one out there, and then I would go the next day, and I was planning on doing one of these every day. About the third or the fourth one, I think I had 5 in my initial thing, I realized that shorts can be used as easy video validation techniques if they're done correctly and you're not just spamming a whole bunch of videos out there. And what I mean by that is you say, okay, look, I run a fishing store and I want to determine if people are interested in, kayaks more, or are they interested in fishing reels more? And so you might run a short one day on kayaks and a short, and don't cheap out on the short. Make the short actually deliver some piece of information. And sometimes that's very difficult in a 60-second short to come up with something that's truly beneficial to them. Um, the idea of creating a short, and in my mind, a short should be between 60 seconds and 90 seconds. And I'll explain why here in a second, but I'm giving you the suggestion now so I don't forget it, and then I'll come back to it. Uh, the But the technique here is to focus on building a small short that focuses on a particular item. And then if that item has traction and you see that short live on longer than the other ones, if you see that short, let's say that all of your shorts get 500 or 1,000 views. Most of the ones that I did that were, dead subjects, usually would get between 1,000 and 1,500 views. Now, when those shorts start getting up into the 4,000 views, that's when you start really paying attention to them. And then occasionally you're going to hit this one that just goes bonkers. Now, the bonkers ones can be created in a way that intentionally do this. And let me explain. I have a piece in my solar channel that deals with the Solar Shed. The Solar Shed is like the most enormously popular series that I have. It outperforms the rest of the channel 2-to-1. So every time I release something with the Solar Shed, it's very popular. So I originally found this by a short that I filmed of me just walking around the Solar Shed saying, hey, look how I use these used solar panels. And it just exploded. So what I did was I went back and I remanufactured that. I think it had 18,000 views, 14,000 views, something like that. So then I went in and I started manufacturing long form videos around that content because I knew that content was of interest. And that is the first way you really want to use shorts, is to weed out that content that's not good from that content that is good, because you don't have that huge investment of hours and hours and hours of building the content. 1 minute to a minute and a half is a very important thing here, because if you put out a little short video, let's say you put out a short that's 8 seconds, 10 seconds. When you put out a short that's 8 or 10 seconds, you are going to get a lot of repeat traffic. Your stats are going to look high. Your playability is going to get good. And if the short is even reasonably interested, instead of having a 30-40% time watch, you may end up with 120 or 180% time watch. I've got one this morning that did, I posted it last night just as kind of a test, because I had wanted to confirm the theory. It's a very popular subject, but I posted an 8-minute short, and it immediately took off within 10 minutes and had 300 hits. And by morning, a few minutes ago, when I got up to make my coffee, it had over 2,000 views. But what you saw with that is it goes up like this and then goes boop and goes flat and just runs straight across. And that's because the statistics are showing the algorithm, hey, look, we got a hit here. And then the algorithm realizes, yeah, but nobody likes it, nobody subscribes, nobody shares, no comments or very few. The interaction that makes the algorithm say, hey, look, a lot of people watch this, is lacking, or the interaction that shows a lot of people are watching this and they watch it all the way through, that shows that it's doing great. So they keep pumping it out. But then the after action report shows that although they watched it, there wasn't really any long-term interest here. The keyword long-term interest. So it stops promoting it, because the watch time for an 8-second video even on 2,000 views, is 10 hours, and it doesn't do them much good. So if you do a 1 minute or a 2 minute short, then the watch time of the interested parties is dramatic, and you get, every 60 users, you get an hour of watch time. And if you produce a short, excuse me, that gets, 2,000, 4,000 views, and each one of those is a minute and a half, and you're going to end up with some significant watch time. And it's not going to go towards monetization, don't get me wrong, but it will prove that the content has stamina, it has the ability to hold on to your audience, and it also attracts the right kind of shorts watcher. A shorts watcher that's only interested in a 10 or 15-second video isn't going to be interested in watching your long form video. And if he's not really interested in watching your long form video, then it's not going to matter much. So that comes down to, if he's not interested in watching your long form video, then the short isn't any good for you anyway. So you have to be careful there. All right. So the second way, and that's the first way, is use it to go fishing and to find those subjects that you really want to promote, and eliminate the ones that you shouldn't promote. And what I mean by promote is spend the time to build a long form video. The second way is to use it to attract additional members or subscribers and followers. And what I mean by this is, when you have such an item as the Solar Shed, you will need to do several things with your shorts. You will need to engineer a shorts technique of promoting that content which is popular through shorts. In other words, go back and revisit your good long form content when you understand this truly important aspect of it, and rebuild your short. And so I rebuilt one of my shorts on the Solar Shed, as we talked about earlier, and it's gone viral. It's been running for 45 days, and I think it's in 150,000 views or something like that. But every single day, this short just continues to grow and grow and grow and grow. And the nice thing about that is that if your other content is really based around it, and in this case, my content is based around linking that short back to the real content. If you're not going to go to the trouble of putting in, and then this brings me to, I know the video is getting long here, so I want to get to the point of a couple of other things that have come to mind as we've been discussing this. If you're not going to go to the point of putting in descriptions and putting in keywords and putting in the tags and putting in all of the things and linking the video and making sure that if it's got to be over 25 seconds, or you can't even put in links to other videos and stuff like that, if you're not going to go to the problem of doing all that, then the short isn't helping your channel. Right now, if you're new, you're trying to find content that's popular, which the short will help you do that. But you're also trying to find content to reinforce what the algorithm needs to know about your ideal viewer, so that he can find the right ones and get that taken care of, and then send you towards more. And if you're not going to go to the trouble of putting all those descriptions and stuff in there, then you're wasting your time. There is no silver bullet here. Sure, well, you might get lucky and you might have one go viral and have a couple million views and get you a whole bunch of subscribers. But then the question becomes is, what did you do to make it happen? And how much of the benefit did you throw away because you didn't take a few extra minutes to get a good description and whatnot? The easiest way to get descriptions on these is to use CapCut. When you put the captions on, click the little extra button that says export a text file with the transcript. Take that transcript and give it to, just cut and paste the text over into ChatGPT and say, hey, can you summarize this for a description for me? And that description will do just fine. So it doesn't take a whole lot of work on your part, but the description is key in making sure that YouTube takes the content and puts it in the right search engines and helps to find your channel up front. So I hope this has been useful. Don't spam shorts. It doesn't do you any good. Make sure that you're attaching good readable, usable captions on all of your shorts, or you won't get near the traffic. Lots of people watch shorts in hospitals and in schools and blah, blah, blah with the volume down. And so they're not going to be able to watch your video if it doesn't have captions on it, or they're not going to be legible and readable from the default ones that come with it. And then at the same time, make sure that you either use it to go fishing and find that good stuff that you want to do promote more, or make sure that you use it to re-promote items that are good in hopes that you'll find something that just really takes off and you get lots of views and lots of subscribers and lots of good people in that. Make sure that you keep them to a good length. I would suggest at the minimum 45 seconds and at the maximum a minute and a half. Don't re-spam a whole bunch of old content that you know is bad. Stick to being fairly selective about what you're going to use for shorts, and don't post too many of them, because you do end up with burnout from your subscribers having to watch all this content. Now the nice thing is the subscribers aren't told about the content with the shorts, but it does pop up on all of their home channels and pages and stuff like that. So keep that in mind. And um, I'm sure there's 100 items that I'm forgetting about this. And if I think of some more, I'll make a list and I'll post it in another video. I hope this has been useful. And if it has, please like the video. It helps me out. It helps my channel grow. And it does the same for me as it does for you. And if you like this kind of content and I've earned it, please give me a subscription and I'll make sure I post more content going forward. And if I haven't, then just watch another video. Maybe I'll earn it on that content after I've provided you more valuable solutions to grow your YouTube channel. Thanks a lot, and thank you to all the subscribers. You guys have a great day.